We will get to the introduction very shortly. Welcome, poets and family. Tonight's performances are done in solemn memory of one of the New Eurekan's original founders, Miguel Agarin, a magical poet, award-winning author, educator, and most importantly, a visionary. Miguel's unrelenting commitment to the arts ultimately led to the creation of the safe space we share today. Poetry slams and spoken word events were held from within his very home until 1980, when Miguel and his co-founders purchased the location on 3rd Street, known today as the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. His illustrious poetic style and charming wit are still sorely missed, not only in our Lower East Side communities, but the world over. In acknowledgement of his absence, let us all take a moment to give thunderous applause with loving gratitude to Miguel Agarin, who is looking down on us from his place above. We wish him a happy heavenly birthday. All right, y'all. Finally, Monday night has come back. Let's get to it. La, 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 la. Welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. My name is Elemen2al. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We do this every Monday, and we've been doing this 180 weeks. Can you dig it? Ooh, can you dig it? But here we go. Marching right along every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams, we appreciate you truly, and you would like to join us in the Zoom. The number's on your screen, 279-995-364. It is truly a different world inside the Zoom. Jump in, join the greatest community in the world. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills. All right, so we would like to thank the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and Education of America for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute or by hitting the Zelle, same aspect. Looking forward to anyone and everyone who can donate to this incredibly legendary space. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now? Damn it, you should be. That cat's all over the place. right? Programs, ops assistant, he's doing it for real. Make sure you plug in. Also, make sure you plug in with the squad. Shout out C4. So many dope artists. I'm telling you, this is where you can find me all over the place. More to come, trust and believe. Tonight's theme, a day of remembrance. Never forgotten. You're also celebrating Miguel Agarin. You know, this day has such a significance for so many people for so many different reasons, right? And we are also celebrating, again, the memory of someone who has paved the way for us, right? We are here because of the sacrifices and the dedication that he had to ensure that this was built so we could be here, all right? You know, how do you pay homage to the people that we have lost, right? How do you show your connection to what was? You know, what once was, we are now. So how do you show your connection? All right. Again, as we approach our 50th anniversary, we are celebrating Miguel Agarin for all that he did for poets and poetry. All right. Next week's theme, the right to flight. Above the clouds. Also, within the week, this week is the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. All right. So listen, bring it. All right, bring it. We're going to be, it actually extends through a few Monday nights. All right. So within the next couple of weeks, it's going to be in there. If you would love to throw it in there, please, truly do. You know, but yeah, we're looking at flight. You know what I mean? When did you take your first flight? You know what I mean? Some people think that we're airheads because we live up in the clouds. You know what? Tell them what we do really see when we get way up there, right? There's some beautiful colors and creativity up there. So share it with the world. As always, your poem does not have to be on theme this evening for you to share with us. We are still looking forward to your beautiful artistry. All right, let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry. Poets, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love all the beautiful expression that goes into your poetry performance. All right. As you're getting ready to rock, have your poem ready. If you're going analog, dog ear the page. If you're going digital, have it pulled up. If you're using music, which is totally cool, make sure it's original music, all right? We don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our stream in any way, all right? So original music, if you're playing an instrument, original sound, all right? Original music, original sound, good to go. Make sure you are also changing your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you, all right? Poets, you got 3 minutes to rock. All right, you got a 30-second intro before or after you rip. Make sure you are plugging your information in the chat for poets to follow. Let them know how they can connect with you and all the incredible things that you do. We have reached night 30 for the babies. All right, the founders of our cafe were major proponents of the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it flows through every vein of what we do. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate, which will not, I said not, be tolerated. Thou hast been warned, all right? Poetry is a living, breathing trigger warning, all right? There are explicit lyricists in this community, and you might even hear some triggering flashbacks come up. Be prepared, all right? Some people do this, we do this, all right? Thou hast been warned. This is a true call and response space. After the poets get up here and they rip out a part of who they are, they rip open their true spirit, you're going to see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to let everyone know you're here. All right. All of that energy is meaningful. OK, every ounce of energy you share goes back to the poet and they give it back to you in their poetic performance. Don't worry about the noise. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. All right. So let the poets know and your community know that you are in the building. The list tonight is closed. Sign up begins 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. To sign up, you go to neweurekan.org. You click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to get down on. You need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way that you're getting on the guaranteed list. All right. Also going on in the brick and mortar, there's an open mic this week, I believe, hosted by Felicia Cade, alternately by Soul Preem. Wednesday night slam with the Beebs, John C4, also J Rose, both incredible. Thursday with La Bruja. Make sure you are plugging in for real. Friday night with Jive. Shout out DJ Paco. It is an experience all in itself. And then right after is the open room with Chevy. Also coming up this week, right? Jazz for Justice going on in the building. Make sure you plug in. Tonight's list. Look at all these beautiful names. All of these beautiful poets come to share their Monday night with us. Let's do it. There's all my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh my goodness. I keep telling y'all, I wait all week for this. And here we are. So let's get to it. Plugging the list in the chat. Setting us off this evening, as only a blacksmith can, our resident lighthouse writer. I'm telling you, I truly adore when this cat comes through because his pen stays so sharp. I can continue to tell you, he's our resident blacksmith. The one and only Michael Sindler is setting us off this evening. Always great to see you. Let the folks know where they can find you online, please. Take it away.
Thanks so much. Yes, I'm going to have to get a hammer or something to do. First, I am going to go ahead and give a big plug to lighthouseriders.org, who I'm especially happy with this week because it looks like I may get a chance to have dinner with Roxanne Gay. So how much better can you get than that? Woo-hoo. One thing I really want to say, though, is, in the wake of the towers coming down, it sort of unleashed so much racism and hatred that had no place. And I just hope that on this anniversary of it, we can really, as poets, be part of bringing all that back together and remembering that there is only one race. We're all part of it. And, we honor what was and we honor what is. That being said, I'm going to read a couple of short pieces. They're old ones. I changed the first word of this one to make it fit the day. It's called Knowing It Was True. 22 years have passed, this fraction of sorrow. I still wake, having dreamt you live, talking around the table as if all is well. Something cracks in the late morning sun. I feel the tears, I let them come, but only for a moment. I let my chest collapse, then breathe in, fill it full of love and remembrance. I wipe the eye where sadness trails. Time will not erase sorrow, will not erase longing to hold you in my arms once more and say I love you. But at least you died knowing it was true. Okay, and the second piece is called Holes in Space. Sweet child, as you look back in time to see the holes in space where friends and family should be, short lives that should have left longer shadows across experience, kisses, hugs, and lessons never shared. Know that they would now embrace you in communion transcending span of days. These holes you see still let in light, pattern woven round them, stitches all to all, echoes, flowering song, exhale sweet scent from memory and momentum. They are you, and you contain in you at least a part of them, those known to you or lost before your arrival. These holes may tunnel down to grief, but they fill with wonder. Oh, child, dear child, do not fear to peer deep and discover marvelous tales that mirror your new trail. Living loved ones may falter, falling into mourning, dipping arms into openings, attempting to pull last treasures from well of tears. Hold them tight. Do not allow them to fall in and be lost. An occasional drink of salt water passing lips will wake tired taste buds and summon recollection of shared feasts. But these waters of grief do not bubble up to be bathed in. Sweet little one, we wish, as all who have lost will always wish, you could have known or heard the singular spirit encased in each. Lost opportunity deprives us of the sweet and the tender, the hilarious and melancholy character each snuff candle's once dancing flame contained. Look into the eyes of the living behind puddling saline falls. That candlelight still flickers undimmed. Let them kindle and pass on the incandescence. Let the light that emanates from these holes in space that mark your past, that invisibly led to you, now stay strong. Sweet, dear, gentle child, be all the sum their lost promise allows, for you have life, and that is what their paid price bought, and you are worth it all. Thank y'all.
You know, as I mentioned, right, this is only the way that a blacksmith can set us off, and he did just that. Unmute yourself, give it up for Michael Sindler.
Yeah, Michael, right on.
That was so good.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
Love it. Listen, thank you, Michael Sindler. First of all, for being a mainstay of our community. Secondly, for bringing a beautiful truth to light, right? It did bring about some racism that was completely unnecessary, right? I love how you said that in the beginning, right? There's only one race and we're all a part of it, no doubt, right? No doubt. Some things come that are interstellar, that are intergalactic. As soon as they find this rock, guess what? You're all humans. Doesn't really matter. That doesn't matter. You're all humans. Really, he said, I feel the tears and I let them come, right? I think there's a level of strength in that, right? By not feeling like you cannot do those things, or cannot allow yourself to feel those things. I think that's important. So I appreciate you, right? At least they died knowing it was true, right? Such a beautiful sentiment, right? In the second piece, you know, when you talk about kisses and hugs and lessons never shared, right? All we can do is really hold on to those things that they did get, and they did actually get, right? Through hopefully, right, some of the new people will discover those marvelous tales from the things that we share with them about history's truths, not the garbage, the truth. Thank you, Michael Sindler, for setting us off this evening. Listen, make sure you're plugging in with lighthousewriters.org. You wouldn't be maintaining this space continuously if it wasn't working. So plug in. All right, coming up next. Listen, it is time for our TES Talk. Hopefully you got your medulla strapped on tight because he's about to oblongata. The one and only Mr. Teza Somok is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Mr. Tez. Always great to see you. Please. Take it away.
All right, folks, catch me on Instagram under Gaseous 2019. I got a lot to roll in, so I'm going to try to squeeze it all in. So the paradox of authority and the law when the overseers become the subjects. Epigram. Weaponized originated as a technical jargon in the US military. At the onset of the Cold War, scientists weaponized rockets, fitting them with nuclear material and equipping them for launch. The Oxford English Dictionary first states weaponized in 1957, citing the controversial aerospace pioneer Wernher von Braun, who used the neologism in the New York Times with respect to ballistic missiles. That same year, Aviation Week wrote a weaponization as the latest of the coined words by missile scientists. This is from John Kelly. Introduction. In the tapestry of philosophical discourse, the interplay between authority, law, and the individual subjectivity remain a perennial focal point. Through the lenses of theorists such as Jacques Derrida and the narratives of Franz Kafka, the question of how authority manifests within a social legal context and its implications for the governed has been extensively examined. The paradoxical dynamics that emerge when those who wield authority become subjects of the very laws they promulgate, the ironic and often sarcastic undertones of the ensuing resentment that ensnares such situations, all while acknowledging that the weaponization of the law is inherently baked into the fabric of the social regimes of control. The authoritarian subject. The framework of authority, as articulated by both Derrida and Kafka, elucidates the conventional authoritarian subject's perspective, the one who crafts, interprets, and imposes the law. This subject positions themselves upon a power circuit of agency justified by a moral pedestal entrusted with the responsibility of managing the unruly masses. From this vantage point, the law becomes an instrument of control, a means to maintain order, and a mechanism to uphold their exclusionary visions of justice. It is important to note that this perspective is not inherently malevolent, as those in positions of authority may genuinely believe in the righteousness of their actions. However, it is the very moral high ground that serves as the catalyst for the ensuing paradoxes when these authorities are subjected to the very laws that they have set in motion, mainly because narcissism is a personality disorder characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, and a lack for empathy for others. The paradox of application. The crux of the paradox lies in the inevitable confrontation between authority and law, not from the position of an omniscient observer, but from the lens of personal accountability. When the authorities who have hitherto remained insulated from the legal implications of their decrees find themselves embroiled in the legal maelstrom, their responses are frequently laced with irony and sarcasm. Consider, for instance, a high-ranking official who has consistently advocated for stringent immigration laws, emphasizing the necessity of adherence to legal processes. When faced with a personal immigration issue, their erstwhile categorical declarations are replaced by pleas for inconvenience rather than a bastion of justice. Psychologically, this phenomenon can be attributed to the cognitive dissonance that arises when one's beliefs and actions are at odds. Leon Festinger's theory of cognitive dissonance posits that individuals strive to maintain internal consistency, and when confronted with conflicting beliefs and actions, they experience psychological discomfort. This discomfort motivates them into their beliefs or actions to restore consistency. In the context of authorities becoming subjects of the law, the dissonance between their previous stance and the law and their current predicament becomes palpable. Their prior claims of moral high ground and the sanctity of legal processes can crumble in the face of their personal interests. This dissonance, often hidden beneath the layers of irony and sarcasm, fuels their resentment towards the very system they once championed. I'm gonna finish out here, but basically saying you can. I'll post the rest of this, but you can't weaponize a system that is already a weapon.
What? It was designed to be one at that. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr. Tezasomo.
Brilliant.
Damn,
Oh my
Tez.
God.
Well said.
Very good. Very
The bar
nice. Very
high,
nice.
bro.
Very nice, man.
Wow.
Very nice.
And Kafka.
I didn't bring my
Well
ladder,
done.
bro. Wow.
I tried to warn y'all before he started, right? Mr. Tez is known for that. You have just witnessed the Tez Talk interaction. I love how you always bring facts to your poetry, Mr. Tez, right? No matter if it's, wrapped in your story or, the truth wrapped in the story or the story wrapped in the truth. I always appreciate the fact that you do it, right? And today it was weaponized. Like, come on, right? A weaponization of the law. Come on, right? A power circuit of agency, an instrument of control, right? All these things, all this. Listen, I understand that it does good and it can do good, right? But sometimes it acts as it was designed, right? Where there are pleads for inconvenience, right? The cognitive dissonance, right? The very system they once championed is now falling apart and they're blaming everyone else. So thank you again, Mr. Tez, for being a mainstay, for always bringing the truth, raising IQ in the room. Always appreciate you. Speaking of raising IQs, we go from one brilliant artist to another. This next poet, I had the true blessing and luxury of previewing his latest book, 4 Crescents. Make sure you plug into it. This maestro is incredible from every angle. The one and only Norm Mathematics is in the building. Come on, Math. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Wait a minute, hold on. I need to get off of this ladder. Tez, you set the bar very, very high. And you can only find me here, okay? Otherwise, here I go with this first piece. Up in Smoke, after Rootstone. Seraphim dreams slept in the standing wood. A carnivorous fire consumed the forest from distant needle to fallen leaf. The heat of the flame inescapable. Evergreens explode their pine cones like hand grenades, bursting pine nuts like shrapnel. Seeds launched above the canopy, escaping the fiery demise on helicopter feathers, to land, sprout, and regenerate fars miles away from fallen ancestors. Ash cans filled with debris, leftover hopes collect in the sky. A puzzling haze wanders behind an unfettered gaze, searching for a patch of flannel blue. A memory of when the sky was up and not falling like curmudgeon snowflakes. This other piece goes in line with an article that I read that doesn't give me any satisfaction as an artist, as a retired educator. Folks retiring with student loans, bro. Anyway, not secure, a future on credit. Nothing surprises like the long look back into the present, shifting stripes for slavery. No matter what system gets paid when you can't pay for the education that should be free. Check out your credit tuition ratio. You're worth the risk of not paying back loan on time. A sure bet, commodifying your debt, trading it like a bargaining chip across the globe with exponential indifference to the sentience of humanity. Continuing to augment on the unpaid balance. Interest, like system is interested in your pound of flesh. And here we are still, fighting each other over crumbs while oppressor gets paid, selling tickets to your rumble. Break patterns instead of bones and hearts. Focus on alliances better than allegiances. Better not be attracted nor distracted by the one-upmanship of whose trauma is worse. Suffering in this system will always be spinning in the background. An irreparable past will not be unremembered by forgotten dreamers. Reparations will never be paid because there will never be enough paper or green ink to print the money ancestors are overdue. Never to be paid for fear of being mistaken for accountability. Not even an apology. Peace.
Come on, man. That's how you come through. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mathematics.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Such a pleasure.
Yes. Yes.
You had us from the
Yes,
go with the
yes.
Seraphim Dreams. That's like
Yes.
so dope.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yo,
absolutely
yo, listen.
beautiful.
I told y'all about Math before he started, right? Again, shout out Four Crescents, his brand new book. Make sure you pick it up. Listen, this dude, he does this. He said he's a retired educator. You don't sound retired to me, sir. You still sound like you educating full time in these poems. And I'm gonna need you to keep doing exactly that, right? Few of us, right, caught that on helicopter feathers. That was just, man, that was money, right? A puzzling haze of wonders, right? When the sky was up and not falling. Come on, man. We're not talking chicken little, we talking big business here, right? In the second poem, you mentioned people are retiring with student loan debt. That's a problem. That's a problem, right? It needs to go away 100%. That's a problem. Thank you, Math. Said they're commodifying your debt, right? They're taking interest like the system is interested in your pound of flesh. Come on, man. Got it here, man. Come on. Break patterns instead of bones and hearts. I love that, man. Thank you, Math, for always coming through and sharing your beautiful work with us. Make sure you are plugging in with mathematics and getting his latest manuscript. Appreciate you. And Black Calculus, dope books. All right, coming up next. Love when this cat comes through because he's always coming through with all the energy, continues to show up and show out. The Magus is here. Come on, Gustav. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
I was able to get to George W. Bush's water bottle 45 minutes before he went on stage with enough LSD to make him tell the truth. This is the mental State of the Union address. Shh, I have a secret I must share. This is my true personal nightmare. I'm out golfing with 41. That's my pa. We're some father and son. Now the whole dream I won't belabor, but suddenly my drivers turned to a lightsaber and off came his head with a single whack. I mistook Dad for Hussein of Iraq. The severed head and the 41 ball cap rolled across the green into a sand trap. I ran to it. What did I see? I was staring back at me. Now you can imagine my surprise at staring into my own eyes when suddenly Yoda, who's my caddy, is standing with me and the me who's my daddy. Yoda shakes his head when R2-D2 beeps. My alarm goes off and I have the creeps. Damn, it's another boring day. I never listened to a thing people say, but who like Yoda is much wiser? My national security advisor. She's educated so very nice. She's Dr. Condoleezza Rice, and she'll explain my nightmare, but she spoke of Freud, and I nodded as if I was aware. Then she's off on archetype and some young guy, and I want to understand her, and I really try to get a simple answer for a simple me, one that's not uncontradictory, just something clear and not so highfalutin. But she's name dropping Joseph Campbell and Vladimir Putin. With so much talk, there's so little grasping, but what she said next left me gasping. Abel was killed by an angry Cain. She blew my mind like I was Kurt Cobain. She said that this was about Poppy, me, and brother Jeb. She lured me with her story to the center of her web. I'm president, and Jeb's just Florida governor, but I've always had the feeling Daddy liked him more. I feel like to Dad I'm some dumb fuck here thanks to Jeb in Florida and sheer blind luck. She said that this war was not about deterrence, but something totally different she called transference. I hate Saddam like the father I cannot please. My cognitive dissonance leads to y'all's unease. Thus, y'all be fighting in Baghdad so as to make peace with my dad. They are very ugly, Hussein and Osama, but I'm not afraid. If you see my mama, she hurt me, dog. She took it so far, she compared me to Lucifer, the morning star. Sure, I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven, and I am taking advantage of 9/11. Okay, I'm the deceiver of the whole world. I'm the tempter. I'm the new Satan, known as the Saddam preemptor. And I'll not be cast alone into y'all's lake of fire, turning and turning in your widening gyre. I'm uncomfortable with all this maledictory. Condi calls this fear of Pyrrhic victory. Now, what's that? Still lost in the passionate intensity of sin. She explains to me that even if you win this battle, I might still lose my war. What the fuck would you be fighting for if I don't win re-election? I think of that and, well, there goes my erection. This worry almost makes war no fun. Will I get a second term when this war is won, or will it end like for 41? The sins of the father revisited on the son. Pride cometh before the fall. So saddle up, lock and load. Next stop, Baghdad, y'all. The whore of Babylon soon will crumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Thank you.
I told y'all that cat's got all the damn energy. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gustav Solid.
Yo.
Go, Gustav.
You know what?
Good go.
Like your water bottle.
We were all there. We were
All up in that
all
water
there. So
bottle.
the brother telling the
Fucking
truth.
awesome.
Telling the
Word.
truth, bro.
Word.
is why
Straight up like that.
I truly love poets right here, right? Because we say all the things that people wish they could say, similar to comedians, but it just hits different, right? In the beginning, you said, I sent him on stage with enough LSD to tell the truth. You sure it was enough? You sure? I mean, I don't know, right? He said it turned into a lightsaber, right? My true personal nightmare, yeah, right? If yoga's your caddy, you are a bad, bad man pajama. I'm just saying, right? Name dropping, right? Said she blew my mind like I was Kurt Cobain, right? Transference, cognitive dissonance showed up again, and I love it. I love it, right? Fighting in Baghdad, if you're fighting with my dad, that was hot. That was hot, man. The Saddam preemptor, you know, probably coming before the fall. You better know it. You better know it. Pay attention. Appreciate you, Gustav, always coming through with the heat every single week. Truly, truly appreciate that. And you see how just this community works. He mentioned Yoda, right? Said it turned into a lightsaber, and here comes the Jedi Master. The one and only Paul Skiff is in the building, a true OG this evening and every evening. We love when you come through. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm just on IG at Skiffgram. It's great to be here with everybody. What a weird, paradoxical day. Miguel's birthday and 9/11. Just gonna try and do this thing for Miguel. I couldn't decide something about Miguel or something about 9/11. I'm just gonna do this thing about Miguel. I did this once before, I think, at one of the last hybrid things. It has a title, Afternoon Ghosts, and it's kind of done in a tonal voice as a send up as a 50s lounge singer. Miguel, when will your poetry ever again run like a wild psalm up the street? City government renamed the Reverend Pedro Pietri Way. He go ba higgy diggy 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 Miguel, whose ears are caressed by your poetry now. Pleasure to feel juicy and toasted golden by the Nuyorican heat of your tongue. Miguel, where is your poetry now? Estruendosa, bailando seductoramente on the childlike tenderness of every ear. Miguel, what will become of the house you built? Who will breathe on the spark you lit? You know it is a treasure because without you, people fight for control of your history. Miguel, Often are the days I think I hear your voice. When sunlight is like a promise in the early morning, your voice declaiming at the top of Second Street a poem song meant for no one but the Madrugada sky. A poem song free as the lowy side of falcon, a legend on hot avenue updraft, circling high. Miguel, I'll be along in a little while now. We can pass a rato in La Plaza del Fireworks, and you don't have to ask. Yes, I'll help you find where you forgot your favorite triple X rated bootleg comic book. Must be at one of the dives up by the Sixth Precinct Station House. We can get sound and be a couple of afternoon ghosts on the avenue. I'll pay for your vodka tonic. We'll find your naughty comic book and then laugh at how the Smurfs do the tube meat pogo, and how Donald and Daisy Duck pry each other's feather fringe pleasure nooks with those beaks. And Jiminy Cricket gives Goofy a reach around romp, and Pinocchio, well, you don't need to guess. Wood is wood. That's for sure. Miguel, where is your poetry now? It shines as a summer meteor shower from the motherly sanctuary face of Louisa. Look at all of us gathered here tonight. You taught us how to celebrate all our diversities in the strength of being all here together. We are your everlasting travesura. Chistoso y salvaje, estrepitoso, chillón, escandaloso y lleno de orgullo. Where will your poetry ever again run wild like a psalm up the street. City government renamed the Reverend Pedro Pietri Way. Yo doy gracias y elogios, Miguel. Thanks for your generous listening, everyone.
Hold y'all. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Paul. Yeah.
If that's not a fitting tribute, what is?
Oh my
All right.
God.
Just gorgeous.
Whoa.
Listen, the only thing that was missing right there, the only thing that was missing is and I got a chance to experience this, right? When Paul Skiff actually goes on stage, he actually sprays whiskey to clear the air. It's the only real thing that I felt that was missing right there, Jedi Master. When you create a tribute like that, when you produce a tribute like that, you not only capture the attention of the person that you're admiring, but to all of those people who admire them. And that is key when you can express that as fervently as you have. Thank you, Jedi Master, for keeping us in line and keeping the dream of the founders alive with what you do, right? In all that you do, right? What will become of the house that Miguel built? If we have anything to say about it, it's going to get stronger. It's going to continue to grow. And we're going to continue to accept new voices in this safe space that he helped create. Your poetry now shines like a summer meteor shower. Come on, Paul Skiff. The force is strong with that one. Thank you, Paul Skiff, for being such a mainstay and always bringing incredible poetry. Before we move on, let me shout out a couple of folks. I saw India Parks here. Appreciate you for being here. Sri Lal in the building. Melinda Lucas is here. Doug Silver, Professor Platinum is in the building. Stephen Mills, what's good? Tatum Lynn, Jordan Maddox, Emily Kelly. Truly appreciate all y'all for coming through and sharing your incredible energy this evening. You are rocking with the greatest community in the world, and they're going to continue to show you why. Coming up next, I get to yell at this woman, lightly, of course, lightly, but I get to yell at her. It's been too long since I've seen you. I hope that you have so much new, beautiful material. Even if not, we are happy that you have returned. The one and only Tamam Tracy Moncour is here. Please let these folks know where they can find you and how they can connect with all the incredible things that you do. It is great to see you. Please take it away.
No, well, it's definitely good to be back. And, it's been a minute. And I've been in the last year and a half in mode of remembrance because I come to you as a widow tonight. But I wanted to get back into, poetry and writing. And, the piece I've chosen because technically, in all honesty, I'm still an irate Black woman. I'm a very angry Black woman at this time and place in existence. But because of the theme, I'm coming in peace tonight and not in anger. It's called One Lovely Summer Day. A myriad of trees, perennials, and vines paying homage to the divine, spring forth into summer, declaring a season of reason, a season of reconciliation, a season of love and empathy, a vacation in creation from all hostility. The honeysuckle trumpet blows red and yellow notes of hope, sailing on the currents of the muddy green river, serving as a melodic deterrence to chaos and confusion, joining forces with a beautiful profusion of white blooms, driving out fear, perfuming the atmosphere with heavenly scents. Bikes rolling along the riverside in camaraderie share gifts of pleasantries. Words and rhythm encourage 4-year-old legs to pedal, 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 pushing for that elusive metal of perseverance develops strength. The sun beams on a baby's adoring eyes, captivating innocence, as the splashing sound of water cascading over rocks punctuates the moment. Clear blue skies serve as a canopy camouflaging the mysteries of the galaxy. From the beginning of time, moving at the speed of light as stars burn bright, drawing a line to the now of existence, calling for hearts to peer into eternity, to embrace the beauty of losing self in a race to be at one with the universe, immersed in peace, traveling beyond the cosmos, gazing into infinity. And that's my offering for this evening, and it's remembrance. It's remembrance for me.
And it is incredible. Unmute yourself. Give it up for your mom, Tracy, Mom Cole.
Oh, I'm so glad you're back. Please keep coming.
Ah,
We're
And
so
blessings
happy.
to you. Sorry for your loss.
Beautiful. Very beautiful and heartfelt, touching.
Yes.
Word up.
all right, guys. Straight up,
Yeah.
straight up. Listen, thank you. Listen, thank you. I don't know if it even is enough for what you do, what you have done. All of my heart goes out to you to strengthen you in your time of transition. It's never easy losing someone, never. Problem is how to move forward. But we're thankful that you have journeyed here with us and that we've helped you to take some of those steps forward. Whether it be peaceful, whether it be angry, whether it be in the vein of healing, we are here for it. Thank you for taking the time to share it with us, really. A couple of things. She said, paying homage to the divine, a season of reason, a vacation in creation. Come on. Come on. Canopy camouflaging the mysteries of the galaxy. Oh, I love that. Right? Calling for hearts to peer into eternity. Right? A race to be one with the universe. I'm thankful that you found your way back to poetry. Please don't be a stranger. Find your way back to us on Monday night as much as possible. Whew. Goodness. Yes, this is, I'm telling you, greatest community in the world. Truly. Thank you, Tracy. Coming up next, this newer member of our community continues to come and blow folks away with his incredible wordplay. The one and only Kazi Kaz is here. Come on, man. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is good. So in honor of today's theme, remembrance, on behalf of all of us who remember someone that is no longer with us, and more so specifically for me, to my dad who transitioned January 8th, 2022. Here goes my remembrance poem. I pledge allegiance to my dad and how he fought to bring us to America. From the Dominican Republic where it all began, one patron, loving God, an individual who wanted liberty and justice for all. Oh, my papa. You took that magical carpet ride and broke on through to the other side. And until it's my turn to knock on heaven's door, I want you to know that I've been living on a prayer since you've been gone. You were taken home to that place where you belong, along that country road where you can now sing your song. You're far away from here in the arms of angels. You don't have to worry about being happy anymore. Now you can just let it be. The dark side of the moon is a little brighter now, and the rain in November isn't as purple as it used to be. You're a free bird now. So let me be the wind beneath your wings so you can fly like an eagle up that heavenly stairway. Faithfully, I'm forever yours because you are the man that I see in the mirror. Just don't forget me now that you're gone, because my heart will break. Because see, I will remember you. Not a day goes by that I don't think of you. So just know that I will always love you. Thank you.
Man, this cat just did a jukebox poem without doing a damn jukebox poem. Unmute yourself, give it up for Kazi Khan.
Yeah.
Awesome, Cos. Well done.
Yo, I know there was a lot. I know there was a lot in there. But that cat mentioned probably a good 10, 15 different artists, different songs that just came together magnificently. Listen, man, that cat does this. Really, the more I hear your work, Kaz, the more I see that you really, really dig into this, right? You're a miner of the truest kind. The way you flipped that beginning, right? Pledge allegiance to my dad, an individual who wanted justice for all. Like, come on, man. That cat went all over, right? I heard some Pink Floyd in there. I heard some Bon Jovi in there. I heard some Prince in there, some Barbara Streisand in there, some Whitney. Like, I'm telling you, that cat just did a whole jukebox poem without doing the jukebox poem. That was fire, Kaz. Appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all plugging in with Kazi Kaz. That cat's pen is fire, for real. All right, coming up next, our brother all the way on the other side of the water, the most eloquent writer I know in the business, the one and only Lantern Carrier is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy birthday to Miguel Aguirre. And my details are in the chat. Pioneers are visionaries, driven by an innate sense of love and purpose to create something new for themselves and a legacy to others. They are blessed with the spirit of togetherness, friendship, versatility, and diligence, harmonizing to manifest great ideals from the soul in the cause of service to others. Step into the basement of 236 East 3rd Street, Manhattan, 1980, and be filled with the spirit of jazz, hip-hop, theater, rhythm, and blues, as well as the artistic eloquence of enchanting lyrics of spoken word as can only be heard with the Nuyorican Cafe's PLS style. 50 years later, and the decor needed may have outgrown the decades of this fabulous setting, but the ambience is still magical. Songbird of the heart still whispers love whenever the karaoke enthralls, one becomes mesmerized by the engagement and flow, intonation and vibrancy, like a bevy of songbearers by so many like-minded enthusiasts. I wonder what it was like in '73 when gifted poets, playwrights, writers, and musicians of color, shunned by the elite,
walked into the living room salon of the East Village apartment of the resourceful and talented innovator Miguel Algarin. Perhaps the soft breeze paid homage to the collective genius on that cool fall evening as their visionary dreams and merits were calligraphed in heaven. Did they sense that the now famous New Yorican Cafe would be known not only throughout America and the world, but with so many accolades and reverence, bring solace to tens of thousands, championing freedom and justice in the cause of furthering humanity's ascent to a greater light and love? They have inspired through the continuum of challenges, created beacons that illumined us with matchless artistry, like the lustrous dawn, added to the sweetest rays of benevolence. Their oozed creativity and charisma took us from the den to the molasses of healing and a pinnacle of excellence. Standing proud like Everest, the cafe is a pillar of fortitude, exemplifying the breathtaking gateways of majesty and splendor. Unfurling with luster, the New Yorican Cafe alchemizes the eloquent fire of words into finesse as charming as butterflies and firm in love. Its bewitching bars guide us through restless waters to the inner ascent of symphonies so necessary to solitude. And jasmine in its elegance and fragrance, poised and majestic like the swan, stately in magnificence. Sadly, today we also remember all those sacrificed in wars to the victims in ways sometimes questionable, dying on reservations or from the malicious prejudices and inequity that Miguel and the founders fought against in the just cause of liberty, of freedom for all. 9/11 was unprecedented in American history and changed the face of global politics, immigration, and surveillance. Here on this pendulum where we swing, the universe dances its rhythms, leaving the echoes of wailing behind as we unfold with luminaries like Miguel Algarin and other lotuses on this self-transcending journey. Long live the spirit of Miguel Algarin and the founding members, the recent past and current team of the New Yorican Cafe. Happy birthday. God bless you all. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Listen, I told y'all from the jump, this is what we do. Unmute yourself, give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Yeah,
Always
Lantern Carrier.
good.
Awesome.
Always so good, Lantern.
Lyrically gorgeous.
Thank you, thank you.
This is such a beautiful space. I cannot thank Miguel Algarin enough for bringing us together, right? Without even touching each one of us, he has touched each one of us. So thank you for continuing to show the ancestors that we are here for a reason, to keep their dream alive, right? As you mentioned, Lantern, through love and purpose, right? Friendship and togetherness. He mentioned the address, 236 East 3rd Street. Absolutely. So many creative beings came there. Why do you think there's a mural outside, right? That's all, basically all the elements of hip hop, right? 73 in the East Village. Can you imagine that, right? He mentioned 1973 in the East Village when they first started coming together in Miguel Algarin's apartment, right? Can you imagine being there, right? Paying homage to the collective genius, right? Now bringing solace to tens of thousands. Cafe is a pillar of fortitude that alchemizes the elegant fire of words. I told y'all, this is what we do. Thank you, Lantern. Truly, truly appreciate you. It's crazy late where he is. Thank you for staying up with us and always sharing your incredible artistry with us. Amazing, as always. All right, coming up next. Woo-hoo! I'm telling you, the storytellers are here this evening. Vincent Price in the building. Coming up next, this incredible writer continues to come and has just become one of the greatest storytellers that I've come across. Just you're going to find out why. The one and only Ike Waltz is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you, Ike. Please take it away.
Miguel Algarin in Paradisum Gloria. I sing a solemn sound, a sound that carries his word that reveals a message that is in love with the all in us. Yes, I could hear. Yes, I could see. Yes, I could feel. And all was leading our way. I enjoyed, I embraced your glory you left behind. My existence, our turbulent yesterday. In Paradisum Gloria, let's drink the taste of tuna and flow. Let's eat the pleasures of a saturated hallelujah at its highest note, and let us quote in Paradisum Gloria. Poets will meet us all in a Ateronome. It's our infinite universe. But in meanwhile, let us enjoy, taste the abundance of earthly vegetables and passions, our fruit of love without any restrictive compromise. Miguel Algarin lived his life. It is what it is. It is what it is. His work, his spirit, his humanity, his dream. So wunderbar. Thank you.
Ooh, I'm telling you, this dude does this. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ike Waltz.
Lovely, lovely.
It's always a pleasure to hear your work, Ike.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Wonderful.
I truly appreciate Ike because, again, his flow's locked in, right? Ike's one of those cats that can read the phone book and make it just sound damn, right? I have to somewhat apologize, right? Because I was so stuck on contemplating this line that, damn it, Ike. You said, let's eat the pleasures of a saturated hallelujah. That just took me to another place, right? Shout out to Keeper of Concrete. It's just so many different things that you took me on. That journey, I keep telling y'all, that is the Vincent Price of poetry, because he does things, right? Our fruit of life. Listen, we continue to be fed by everything that you share with us. Thank you. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us on a Monday night. Make sure you are plugging in with Ike Waltz. For real. All right. Coming up next. Been a while since this cat has been here. All right. Our dragon from the West. Shout out the West. Listen, came across this cat in a few open mics, and I'm telling you, I appreciate his work because he is unafraid to be everything that he is as a poet. Trust me, you will find out. The one and only Keith Marr is in the building. Let these folks know how they can find you online. It has been too long, sir. Great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I have to say, I am afraid. I just make myself say it anyway. So just to set the record straight. So this is, I think, maybe the second time I've been here. The first time I was such a newbie that I signed up on the non-artist list. I show up and I can't talk. So that shows you how naive I was. So I'm giving it a second chance. I am honored to be here. My dad grew up in the LES, Lower East Side. So I'm happy to be in New York, even if it's virtually, man.
So shout out to my pops. I want to share a little bit of my culture. In Chinese, the word for poem is composed of two characters, word and temple. Word and temple. So what poetry provides us is both the word and the sacred. So having said that, I'm going to do a piece that I always push myself to say because I have to be so vulnerable. So I'm taking it a different direction. I'm going to do something personal. I am in agony. I am 7 years old. My class at my almost all-white grade school in Fresno, California, must draw a self-portrait. I can't finish my drawing. Each time I draw my face, I erase. I start over. I start and erase again and again. I'm filled with shame at what I see. What I see staring back at me is my Chinese face. You see when the Gestapo boots of every kid in the Ching Chong Chinaman parade, goose steps on a tender young neck, it grinds a lasting heel print, a black and blue bruise of self-hate. And it was my Chinese eyes I felt the most ashamed of. They say the eyes are a mirror to the soul. That is to say, like a mirror, they reflect the person looking into them. Did the kids mock my eyes without ever seeing their own cruelty? Today, we turn a blind eye to the immense power of a tongue wielded like a scythe that lacerates the heart with words that maim. Shame and humiliation. I didn't know those were the words for the feelings I had. What I did know was I felt a hot flush in my face when I looked at the face I had drawn before I quickly erased it. What I did know was that I covered it up when anyone walked by. What I did know was I did not want to face my face, this face of mine. I so wished I could replace a sad reminder of my lack of place. In the end, the drawing I turned in had the eyes and face of a little white boy. You see, after all that erasing, I had erased myself. And what I want to tell you was I was erasing so much more than my face that day. I was erasing the beauty of who I was. I was erasing my history, my culture. I was erasing the love of my mother's Chinese cooking. I was erasing my appreciation for my hardworking father, who didn't look like the heroes in the movies. I despaired that we could ever be the heroes in our own stories. And what I want to tell you, this was just the beginning of my complete erasure, the beginning of a lifelong struggle to love myself as I am, with my rich golden amber honey butter skin, to love myself with this face I once saw in a museum, atop a proud terracotta warrior. And to love myself with these eyes, my beautiful obsidian eyes that tell the tale of my ancestors. This story is an old friend pointing to where my healing lies. I know now this shame isn't something I was supposed to keep. We were not supposed to stay wounded. We were meant to be poems across the sky. I stand strong and proud. I look the world square in the eye with these eyes. I never told my story to anyone. My story insists I tell all of you now. Thank you for listening.
And listen, we are thankful that your story insisted it that you shared with us. Unmute yourself, give it up, Keith Mo.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I have a question, please. I have a question, please.
Oh, okay, hold on one second. I'm coming at you, Idianga. Keith, I'm gonna unmute you, and Idianga says she has a question. I've unmuted you both.
Thank you. First and foremost, that was so heart-wrenching, and I feel like you broke my heart as well, wide open, because it's an immigrant story that we all share. But you prefaced your incredible work by saying that the word for poem is two characters, but you didn't say what the word was in Chinese. And so I just wanted to know what the word for poem is.
Come on.
Well, I'm so sorry, but I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm so sorry. I'm a fifth generation Chinese American. So, I was never taught to speak Cantonese by my parents.
Okay.
I'm
going to have to now look up the translation now.
I really appreciate your question.
Listen, yes, thank you, Idianga, truly, and Keith for taking the time to answer. But I would like to challenge you to find out, right? Find out how to pronounce it. Find out what else it is that you can find in those two characters and bring it back to us in a poem. Of course, right? Bring it back to us in a poem. Listen, this is the beauty of language, of art, of culture, right? Of remembrance. It's these things that ensure that our culture continues to move forward, right? We are all still learning, and this is just another beautiful example of how much we still have to learn as people. The more we go forward, the more we need to remember what we have come from, right? We are completely and totally comfortable with asking AI to do all kinds of things. Make sure you maintain your own, not just integrity, but just your own anonymity. Please don't let the computer take over. All right, thank you, Keith. Listen, you listen. You said you've only been here a couple of times. You are now part of the greatest community in the world. Find yourself here as many Mondays as absolutely possible. All right, thank you for coming to hang out with us. One more poet, and then I'm going to pass it on to RMT. Coming up next, a newer mainstay of our community. Usually ends up coming in the closer spot. But hey, this week he is coming in the middle of the mix. I am so thankful that he continues to come through and hang out with us and share his incredible work. The one and only Principe is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Hello, my name is Principe. The poem is called Can't Apologize. Can't apologize for my truth. Let it be known that I was made from heaven and filled with the duality of heaven and hell. So what is there to apologize for? Maybe my mistakes, my sins, but my flaws, never. My mistakes spread like the flapping wings of a bald eagle, puncturing others in the process. This I wish never happened. Poem.
Listen, sometimes that combination is quick and it lays you out. Unmute yourself, give it up for Principe.
Always, man. Very nice. Word.
Yeah. Oh, right. Listen. I see the Jedi Master, right? He's like, yo, come through, man. Listen, your work has heat. right? Your work has sting on it, Principe, right? No, you don't have to apologize. What is there to apologize for when you coming through with heat like that, right? Only thing I'm gonna challenge you to do, sir, is turn it up a notch. Take it up. Turn the heat all the way up. See where you get from there. Make sure you are plugging in with Principe, again, a newer mainstay of our community. All right. Before we move on, as I mentioned, I am going to pass it to the dopest tech program and ops assistant in the building, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it. You should be. Ron, how you feeling this evening?
Thank you. I am feeling great to be a member here of our wonderful online and in-person community. What a beautiful evening here once again. The beautiful poems of personal losses. Tamam, Tracy, and Kossi, thank you so much for being brave, to share your personal losses with us. I hope both of you keep coming back, so we can keep hearing from you. Thank you everyone, about telling us about, remembrance and losses of 9/11, and what beautiful tributes to Miguel Algarin, one of our original founders of the New Eureka Poets Cafe. This is just amazing. He, I'm sure, is listening from heaven, to us, and like Elemen2al said, look what he brought, look what he did without knowing, that, he brought us together, many of us during the pandemic. I'm just sad that I never got to meet him in person. I've been in the New Eureka Poets Cafe before the pandemic, and I'm sure he was sitting there at the bar, and I probably didn't know who he was at that time, so, but hey, we are together here because of him and the other amazing co-founders, so thank you everyone. And as Elemen2al said, to many of tonight's performances are done in solemn memory of him. It is his birthday today. He would have turned 82 years. We also have an on-site open mic currently going on in the New Eureka Poets Cafe, and they are also dedicating the performances there to him. Talking about the the on-site open mic, for those of you who have not been to New York City, this is what the New Eureka Poets Cafe looks like on the outside right now. When Miguel and his fellow poets founded the cafe in 1973, they actually did performances out of his mom's apartment for several years until they were able to purchase this current building that we have here, 236 East 3rd Street. So it is that this building is old, when they purchased it, it's been, already, in existence for many decades. You see, there are 5 floors. We can only use the first and the second floor right now. So yes, we are shutting it down after Halloween, which will be the exact 50th anniversary of the cafe. And the city is assisting us with a grant, and the city will be reconstructing it into modern times, so we can expand our stage to 2 performance stages. We're going to add workshop classrooms. We're going to add an elevator. Right now we have a staircase, but there will be an elevator, and we're going to expand the garden, the community garden area, so it will just be beautiful. And also to let you know, as we're cleaning up the upper floors, which are not accessible to the public at the moment, but there are a lot of things that we need to archive from the upper floors. We actually have found several copies of Miguel Algarin's book from the 1970s, Mongo Affair, which is a collection of his poems. And those are first edition press copies. We looked it up online. People are selling it on Amazon for over $150. So we're going to sell it for $50 in the cafe. If you happen to be in the cafe within the next 7 weeks before we shut it down, we have those books in addition to merchandise, t-shirts, hats, masks. We also have the other book from 1997, the New Eureka Poets Cafe Theater Festival, which he and Lois Griffith co-edited. That is an anthology. We are also selling that, and all those funds will be going to what we call the next 50 years. And I see Alisa's comment in the chat right now. Yes, with all the money that you're contributing, donating, the tickets that you're buying for the on-site programs, and our sponsors that are sponsoring our programs, we're gonna try to bring you as many off-site programs in person within the next 3 years. We're looking for other venues. Obviously we'll have to pay for it. We're going to look for some partnerships. So stick with us on the online open mic, because we're going to keep you up to date with, where we will be in person after we have to shut the building down. It is not the end of the cafe. That is just the beginning of the next 50 years, literally, and we will find other spaces, temporary spaces within New York City during those 3 years. So on that note, right now, for another 7 weeks, you can still come to our current building on East 3rd Street. That one, we will continue our monthly our weekly on-site open mics on Monday, in addition to the online open mic. Wednesday night poetry slam every Wednesday except for the first Wednesday of the month. Friday night slam, Jive Poetic, that will continue until the end of October, followed by the Friday night slams open room twilight open mic hosted by Chauvet. Of course, even after the building shut down for the reconstruction, we will continue our online open mics hosted by Elemen2al on Mondays, and Thursday night online open mics currently hosted by our executive director Labrua. She will be busy in the next few weeks, so we may have some guest hosts. So again, just stay tuned with us. We are all, Labrua is also bringing to you monthly beatniks online. We have not yet recorded September's beatniks online, but this will be done within the next 2 weeks. Stay tuned. We will all post it on our social media platforms. We're going to have another busy week coming up, because in addition to our weekly programs, on this weekend, Saturday the 16th, Elemen2al mentioned it earlier this evening, we will be presenting Jazz for Justice, a Freedom First concert, which is in support of Keith Lamar, who has spent almost 34 years now in solitary confinement on death row in Ohio for a crime he didn't commit. David Amron and his son will be presenting jazz music along with a beautiful lineup of poetry. We will also have Keith calling in from a prison, and he will share, some of his poetry as well. That event is, we are not setting a ticket price. It is pay what you can, pay what you wish, just show up, at the door, and pay what you can and enjoy the program. Next week on Wednesday, September 20th, instead of the poetry slam, the Hispanics in Philanthropy organization will be presenting an open mic called Stories of Climate Justice for Latin Communities. That one is $12 online. If you go to our ticket calendar, you can you will be linked to their ticket site to get tickets for that event. Also next week on Thursday, September 21st, Jazz Gria, which is a Latin Jazz Heritage Series. That one actually is hosted and led by our Board of Directors Honorary John Howard Algarin, which is not a coincidence. He happens to be the nephew of Miguel Algarin. He will be presenting a night of Latin jazz to honor his uncle's legacy and continue the tradition of live music, because yes, we are not just about poetry, but we also do present music, stage plays, and many other exciting programs. So that one is next week. And just before we started the open mic here, I found out we're gonna have that also one more time repeated in October on Thursday, October 26th, which is literally 5 days before we shut the building down. That one, tickets only $5. You can get them on our ticket site. Again, this is an in-person event. Also, Voices and Vibes. Many of you are excited that we're bringing that one back. Saturday, September 30th and Saturday, October 14th, 8 p.m. At the moment, this will only be done in person. I'm sorry, the Zoom option is just too technically complex to present a karaoke slash original music program online. There are many other karaoke online open mics in our community, but if you're in New York City, come on over, Voices and Vibes, and you never know, during the 3 years, we may reconsider and bring it in some kind of edition online, but for this and next month in person at the cafe, only $5. And if you still have not yet seen La Brua's stage play from Puerto Rico, she has confirmed, our executive director, the stage play that she has written and is acting in, it will be brought back one more time to the New Regan Poets Cafe before we close the building on Saturday, October 21st, which also happens to be the day after Friday, October 20th, when this same play will be presented at the New York Public Library on 40th Street and 5th Avenue, if you happen to be in New York City. Again, this is your chance to see this play. For all those events, and there are many more that I haven't even mentioned yet, and we're gonna, let you know in the next few weeks. Just keep following us on our website. You see our social media handles. Many of you, if you're on our mailing list, you may have also received our newsletter via email earlier today. I put La Brua's social media handles and Elemen2al social media handle. They always both share our promotional materials. You see our link tree, and as Elemen2al mentioned, if you want to contribute and help us, continue bringing all these programs, to the New Regan Poets Cafe for our community, you can also contribute via our website. So again, thank you everyone, for sticking with us, for continuing to support us. And on that note, we're going to go to our next performer, who, according to my records, hasn't been here for a few months, but I know you've been with us quite a few times, even so much that Elemen2al and I remembered how to correctly pronounce your first name, which is Elisa, which I hope I did correctly. Elisa, welcome back. I'm glad you are, you are back here. Hope you're doing okay. I see there was somebody in your family watching with us a little bit earlier. So Elisa, let everyone know where we may find you, and then go ahead with your 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. Yes, my son was very late to going to bed. It's good to be back. Okay, I guess I'll dive right in. This one is called Paper Clips. Midway through the documentary Paper Clips, I started sobbing and didn't know why. I had been teaching a unit on the Holocaust for weeks, had been preparing lesson plans and videos and images graphic enough to speak the truth, but not too horrific to send my students home with nightmares. I had been living in its shadow my entire life. But somehow, that image on the screen of thousands of paper clips streaming through Whitwell Middle School children's fingers broke a dam in my throat and unleashed a tsunami of tears, one for each clip, for each mother and daughter and father and son. A survivor speaks, opens his palms and exposes a fragile memory. My mother and 3-year-old brother, they came here with me. Where are they? The response, finger pointing to a column of smoke. Had the universe conceived me 60 years earlier than it did, that would have been my baby, my mama. That would have been me, a column of smoke, a paperclip collected in Whitwell, Tennessee, the only remnant of my ruptured existence. They collected paper clips like the Nazis collected lives. How many thousands can we put in the can today? Hey, check it out, another shipment in Whitwell. The post office couldn't keep up with the cartons and boxes boxes, called the principal to come pick them up herself. In Germany, the SS couldn't keep up with the numbers either. Stuffed Jews into cattle cars and threw the dead out the windows, shoot a few along the way, break some necks, starve some kids, lighten the load, lighten the load. What's another dead Jew anyway but a pat on the back? The Nazis kept pristine records, and the students in Whitwell log every paper clip and return address, an incomprehensible history unfolding before their eyes with every letter and note and stupid paper clip. It's not enough. It will never be enough. Thank you.
Whoa. What a powerful poem. Just the right time to come back. Everyone, please unmute yourself. Oh my goodness.
That was
Wow.
incredible.
That was
Yeah,
incredibly
fantastic.
powerful,
Speechless.
incredibly.
Speechless.
Yes.
And you know I got a lot to say. I'm speechless. Wow.
It just,
Unbelievable.
yes, just
Unbelievable.
amazing, amazing. Yes, because he is, exactly, saying it. Oh my goodness, like Elisa,
Wow.
wow, yes. You know what, and this deserves like a second reading. I'm gonna have to go back to our live stream, which I'm gonna put in the chat. If anyone missed any lines or wants to see their own performances again, just go to our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, which is now called X. We are live streaming our Monday and Thursday night online open mics, and you can play back any of the past ones there easily. Elisa, that was a powerful poem. That's amazing. Yeah, I don't even know what to say either, though. That is great. Thank you so much for blessing us with these powerful words. Thank you, Elisa. Appreciate it. All right, coming up next is someone else who has become a mainstay both online and in person. I had the pleasure of meeting him and his family at several of the events, including the hybrid open mic we did and the block party. And Daniel, you keep bringing it. He has published his own book, read poems about the New Eureka Poets Cafe, as well as other poems. Daniel, such a pleasure to for you to be back. I know for you this may be also a strange day because you were quite young when 9/11 happened in 2001, and and you're also new to the New Eureka Poets Cafe. But I'm so glad you have found us during the pandemic. Daniel, let everyone know where we may find you, and then go ahead. The floor is all yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it. For today, let me just rewind. I put my link tree in the chat. You can find me on Instagram, Daniel56781. And today's poem is actually a tribute poem to one of the people who perform here at New York, and is right after me, CP Mays. So I have a tribute poem for CP. And it's called The Silent Poet, which I got the title actually from one of his poems that he's performed, which was one of my favorites that he's performed. So I think it would be, a good idea to use that as a title. So here it is, A Silent Poet. An asylum poet that leaves you traumatized. CP Mays is a legend in everyone's eyes, a veteran who followed orders that were authorized. I'm glad he's safe and sound because some never make it out alive. Writing from the ashes of your emotions, I can feel the energy as every word is spoken. You have more lines than the ripples of the ocean, punching us with the truth so hard that reality is swollen. Your delivery of your performance is a pinnacle of what I would like to reach. I'll rewatch an open mic session so that you don't have to teach. We can be in communication on an idea that was conceived. Collab on a piece and write a couple of stanzas each. With your dragon breath, you'll start a wildfire. Your poems are phenomenal and a pleasure to decipher. Don't feel responsible for what happened prior. You'll strive and build a bigger fan base than Pfizer. Thank you for your service and for coming home, writing your thoughts so that they can leave your dome. The battlefield is so ruthless that it forgets to lay tombstones. You have my ultimate respect, and be careful when you're alone. Evil can never be vanquished. We try our best to cover the wicked with a sacred blanket. We live life chasing our potential until heaven is granted. When plans go wrong, optimism will make it easier to manage. Don't be stunned by our country since we are fighting each other. You left the US for peace and here we are murdering our brothers. It's sad in a way that can disappoint a mother. Living is now violent and it's surprising to have such hate discovered. Keep on writing and share what you're comfortable with. Don't stop performing. That way the world can have a glimpse. I stopped writing once and thought about jumping off a cliff. If I did, I would not been able to witness your gift. You're loved and honored, so remember that. Once living becomes a burden, the poetry community has your back. We work like animals, but always down to cut some slack, molding love in a world that has gone mad. We lose 40% of our body heat from the head. It might be from releasing all of the stress. We get puzzled from just chasing bread. Everyone lets sorrow affect them, but we choose to write instead. That's what I love about poetry. We relent and vent simultaneously, releasing all of our sins for the demons to eat, ready to lie down and fall asleep. I hope all is well with family and friends, making poems assuming they can comprehend. We kill ourselves in order to pay for rent, trying to provide while doing what we can. Everyone you meet has something to teach you. That's the beauty in life, always learning something new. Live in a busy life, neglecting those who are rude. As poets, we continue to live the life that we choose to, exercising breath control like when playing the flute, mastering patience because it's something we all contribute. Stay strong like tangled tree roots. CP Mays, I hope you relish this well-deserved tribute. Thank you.
You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Unmute yourself. Give it up for Daniel Fernandez.
Damn, ultimate respect, man. Ultimate
I love
respect
the
right
love.
there, yo.
I love the love.
Yeah,
Daniel.
That was just amazing. My goodness.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's super dope, man. Like that's super
Yes, it
humble.
I
was.
love
and
the
super
love.
dope, man. I appreciate that a lot. Like we spend our
Right.
lifetimes trying to figure out if what we're doing is the right thing and like paying homage, giving me my flowers while I'm alive. Thank you, bro. It couldn't have came at a better time. Real talk.
No,
I love-
no, I'm not crying for real. I'm not. Y'all not gonna get me up in this place, man. For real. Listen, that is why I love our community. Because we have enough love and respect to let the folks know who we love and respect, that we love and respect them. As he mentioned, giving you your flowers while you are alive to smell them, not just to be part of a tombstone. Appreciate that, Captain Flo. Man, that you cannot pay for that. All right? That poet took it upon himself to let another poet know, damn it, you inspire me. That is why we do what we do, right? Not just, listen, we don't rhyme for the sake of riddling. What for? We do it to ensure that people know how important it is to us to speak that truth. And when something like that happens, listen, I understand. Shout out to the vets in the building. Listen, I understand, man, but whoo-wee. Listen, y'all don't know, man, when you crying gunpowder tears, that is not nice. Thank you, Daniel. Listen, he said the asylum poet, like, for real. Listen, CP Mays does that, and you're going to find out just here in a few minutes, right, that he does leave you traumatized. Sometimes, listen, right? He said you got more lines than ripples of the ocean, right? With your dragon breath, you'll start a wildfire. He does that, truly, right? The battlefield is ruthless, can never leave tombstones. And true indeed, man. There's too much going on in the battlefield. But thankfully, right, the survivors get to come back and tell us what it is. Never forget, Mays and Daniel, and to everyone here, right? You're loved and honored. Remember that. Thank you, Daniel. That was legendary, man. For real, truly. Before we move on, real quick, unmute yourself. Give it up for Ron Mark Thompson.
RMT.
You ready, Ron? Hey, Ron.
Mission control.
Hi, my love.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Before you mute everyone again, Element, just two quick things because Idyonga had asked Keith what a poem in Mandarin is. I am also an immigrant, so a poem in German, my mother language, is Gedicht, which sounds totally different than poem, you know, so just FYI. And I hope, Elemental, we're going to do a future theme again where we use our native tongues. I know we've done it a few times, and this is always beautiful, especially since we're so international. And I hope I'm not telling any secrets, and you probably have mentioned here before, but I didn't find out until a few months ago when Elemental visited New York City and stayed with me in the Bronx. But Elemental also, in addition to being a great host and poet, he also is a veteran, you know, and now look how he is serving us now in a different capacity. So since we usually don't get a chance to, unmute ourselves and give you your flowers, thank you, Elemental, for also having served us and for continuing to serve us.
Yes,
Well,
yes, 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 yes.
True. Listen, y'all. Appreciate that for real. Shout out to all the vets, man. Really, you know, it's. I know, right? Few the proud. I get it. I get it. You know, but we do it because we have to. So shout out the vets. Shout out the people who support the vets. And everyone in that sphere. We truly appreciate all the love and support. All right. And so on to the vet. Listen, this guy, again, man, if you don't know a Marine, find a Marine, love a Marine. These cats, this cat happens to be one of the dopest poets in the world, nationally ranked poet, a partner of mine, the one and only C.P. Mays is in the building. Come on, folk, let these people know where they can find you online, man. Do what you do. Take it away.
Hey, everybody, CP Mays. Now I feel weird. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like I'm in a Talladega Nights, like missing deleted scene, whatever. I don't know what to do with my hands. Yo, Daniel, I got to get a copy of it, man, so I can look at it when I feel down about my art. We always go through it, you know? So I appreciate that in levels that I can't put into words. Thinking about the remembrance and what it takes for a community to pull together and start something fresh and new, chose this poem. It's called The Year 2006. You will never be able to buy me, but you can for damn sure borrow the bottom lines of these middle flip fingers. I can finance you 2 fuck yous at a hallelujah high interest rated us as a force to be fucking reckoned with. The year 2006. Too rich with character to be bought by anyone. A cluster of 20-something low self-esteems, a bunch of balancing act basket cases. We lubricated our longing for self-love by throwing back shot after shot of asphalt elixirs, self-medicating mixtures of hydrocodone, pain pills, codeine, X pills, beer mixed with liquor, mushrooms mixed with dry cereal. Listen to me carefully, motherfucker. I said we couldn't be bought by anyone. We rented out rooms in lions' dens without paying rent, furnished figurative language with cigarette butts, and stranger best believe that you are goddamn beautiful professors. We're dumbfounded by our use of diction, viewed pimping promoters the way we viewed pimping preachers and pastors as nothing more than a buffet collection plate of bastards. Don't you dare ask us if we believed in God. We knew him personally. Feel free to ask him. Go ahead. Ask him. Ask God how often, if ever, he's ever forgotten to believe in us. Not often, do you know how many meals I missed solely surviving off the words I spit too often, cracking quick pickable smiles like Hawkins' dreams, like nightmares raising up the dead. Pardon the I'm for the people posted up on my tongue, but why won't someone turn up these muses in my head for I forgot Which one sounds like God? Where were you when you last attended funeral services for your dreams wrapped in unemployment sections of newspapers? I'd rather punch a clock than slap a snooze button. Dare any cop to cardiac arrest me for heart beating up time? Y'all, there are ghosts slanging dope in your childhood, pickpockets robbing your ambitions from right under your nose. Scenes, crackheads, junkies are all dying to tell you love is the very first ever gateway drug, but you won't listen because the music's too loud in the house party of pity that's in your head. During our hangout late night sessions, we had killers and convicts holding conversations with tenured professors and religious studies theologists. We were anthropologists and fashion majors, high school teachers and sign language interpreters, self-employed businessmen and double majoring college graduates. We were restaurant waiters and servers and busboys and barbacks. We were 3 a.m. late night drummer boys and left-handed guitar players and tap dancers and interpretive dancers and sultry song singers. We were hippies and graphic design artists. We were classically trained on the piano and ballet dancers. We graduated from the Juilliard School of Music and the Juilliard School of Dance. We were exercise physiologists, part-time psychologists, once a Marine and always a Marine I am, in the coterie of diction defying a heaven of a hallelujah. We were hot wire acts. We were concrete killers of catharsis, the cement mixture killers of the page. The word art hidden in the word heart. And motherfucker, we couldn't be bought by anyone. Thank y'all.
And still just as priceless. Damn it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CP, man.
Hey!
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What can I say,
We hear
man?
you.
What
I
can I
see you.
say?
Okay.
Damn.
Love is the first ever gateway drug.
I heard
CP.
that too, Gusto.
CP. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy, like
Listen, you know, this cat has a line in his poem. What happened, Maze? All right. Razor blades, that razor blade shaver, right? Again, if you know a Marine, a lot of what he's saying makes sense, right? My pops was a Marine, right? Got the blood of monsters. Listen, he said this was 2006, right? Damn, like, then you have the audacity, Maze, to transport people into the spaces that you rip about, right? He said mushrooms mixed with mixed dry cereal, furnished figurative languages with cigarette butts, buffet collection plate of bastards. Like this dude, like, I love the madness that you tumble into, right? I know some of your process, but still, it's astronomical, man, right? Nightmares raising the dead, right? Arrest me for heart beating on time, right? Love is the first ever gateway drug. Come on, man, that's a whole joint by itself, right? You know what I mean? You come up with these little lines. It's just like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. That's another one right there. Love is the first ever gateway drug. Come on, man. We're killers and convicts, 3 a.m. late night drummers and left-handed guitar players, right? Exercise and theology, right? Concrete killers of catharsis. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Listen, simplify. Shout out Concrete Generation. Shout out to Keeper Concrete. That dude does it. Make sure you plug in with CP Maze. He's all over the place. For real. All right. Coming up next, another newer mainstay of our community. This cat continues to come through and share his heat. And I can't wait to hear what he has for us this evening. The one and only JT Shannon is here. Let these folks know how they can connect with you online. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
All right, thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you for that introduction. So I'm the author of the book Ghosts of Menace Street. You can catch it on innatedivinitybooks.com. And I'm actually going to be reading a new poem. I didn't know the theme today, but most of my poems are about grief and loss, particularly the loss of my parents. So that's what this is about. It's called This Association. I remember it keenly. The first time I drifted away, looking down on myself. It was the morning I'd found my father's body resting in the chair where he left it. Link by link, the chains that tied me to my flesh snapped, and I came unmoored. Like a ship safely docked until the storm bore down upon it, tore it from the dock, sent it sailing off into the tumultuous sea. I remember feeling it happened as I screamed for my sister, snap, as I called for help, snap, as I shook my father's empty shell, snap, as I pleaded with him to wake up, snap, as help arrived too late to do anything but cart his body away. That was when the final link broke and I left it all behind, soared high above our house, only to turn a curious glance downward. Who was this strange young man, I wondered, screaming until his lungs all but burst, while his sister wept beside him, who could do nothing but scream and collapse to his knees as some strangers took his father away. I wondered why this young man was crying. So there I was, drifting in the sky, a motion, an alien, unknowable thing, a virtuous void of peaceful emptiness. So it was a curious thing to see someone so broken until I realized that broken person was me. And just like that, I was sucked back into myself, the calm vanishing in an agonizing wave with myself once again. That was This Association. Thank you so much.
That is the work, y'all. I'm telling you. Unmute yourself. Give it up for JT Shannon.
Beautiful.
Yeah, JT. Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Thank you.
I truly I love with all the themes that we come up with, right? All of the flowery things, the lovely things, right? But this is the work, y'all. This is the work. When there is something that you have to write about, right? There are things that I know I have to write about, but I've been dodging them shits for a while now, right? Because they're difficult to write, right? He said, when I found my father's body in the chair where he left it. Come on, man, what? What? It takes a level of strength to even go there, let alone write about it, right? As help arrived too late to do anything. Listen, we have dealt with a lot of powerful things this evening, and I have sent prayers, and I will continue to send prayers for all your losses, and I will continue to thank you and let you know that I love all of y'all for sharing these very intimate memories with us. I truly appreciate all of you. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, we go. A newer mainstay of our community has shown up and continues to show up and do his thing. Where'd he go? There he is. Listen, there he is, of course. Come on. The one and only Dre Reyes is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
All right. It's always great to be here. You can find me on Instagram at DreRay90. I guess I already had something whipped up like over a decade ago. And if it's this prompt, so I'm just gonna go right into it. It's called December 13th. I woke up this morning and a tear trembled down my face. It is another December 13th, which makes it another year since you were able to live life. To have heard about what happened to you 3 days since the dreaded accident nearly killed me. You shot through that windshield like a doomed cannonball, landing hard on unforgivable earth. Angels took you away from here, but not to heaven. A helicopter full of angels flew you to a hospital past borders. When that stroke killed off your brain cells on Christmas Eve 2008, it also killed whatever hope I had. I became a walking emotional apocalypse, still with a trace of denial that it never happened until, that you were still alive, sitting at home watching TV or playing PlayStation. It was all a nightmare until I saw you in that damn box. Then it became reality. I still have regrets for not being able to see you even in the hellish states you were in. I still have regrets for not being there for you then and before you turned your back at your future. I don't care if I was able to afford your headstone. It doesn't bring you back. You weren't just a friend. You were my brother. Thank you.
Man, come on. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Dre Reyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I felt that, man. I felt it in my chest, man.
So much courage.
Word up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep telling y'all it's the greatest community in the world. Continue to show you, right? I felt that as well, cause I truly did. I lost my brother in 2017, and I know that pain, right? Sometimes when you think people are indestructible, right? And you have to see them that way. It's something very different. Thank you for sharing that with us. That is not easy. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's not easy to not just live those things, not just have to relive those things in our writing, but to actually share them with people in a poetic form, right? Thank you for that. And listen, I love that line, right? As kind of dark side as it is, right? Walking emotional apocalypse. I dig that though, right? So everything was okay till I saw you in that damn box. Yeah, for me, it was the freezer. And it's one of those things. So thank you. Can't say I know your pain, but I understand. And so I know how hard it is to write about it. Thank you for coming through and sharing that with us. Listen, thank all of y'all. Listen, y'all have brought all of it. This is what it's about right here. This is the work, y'all. This is the work. Oh my goodness. All right. I see our next poet has been in and out. Please let me know if you got it, if we're good to go. Because listen, the next poet, listen, she's always ready with it, right? If she's ready to rock, we are ready to rock with her. Always looking forward to what she has to share. The one and only Kid Tay is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Come on, you know what it is. Take it away.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram under Kitay _ the poetic cat, and it's cat with a K. So today I'm going to be sharing a story about my sister and how the poem's going to speak for itself as soon as I say the first few lines. My sister was taken from our family against our wishes and against what was in her best interest, because we couldn't control her self-destructive habits of skin picking and consistent tantrums. nor could the hospitals. Mass General wanted to try shock therapy on her, but we refused to consent to that kind of experiment. So a summons was sent and delivered. We got the letter and we won. We were beyond grateful that she was saved from a fate she probably would have experienced had I or my family not been there to advocate. If she were property of the state. After our win, MGH began limiting our visits and we weren't allowed to see her as frequently as we could before. They claimed our visits disturbed her and that she'd cry for hours upon hours after we'd leave. Well, I probably would have too, if my family, who I was used to always having by my side, who were my voice, were abruptly told to leave. How is that fair to her and her sanity? To limit her interactions with the only ones who understood her and her needs, because they viewed a visit with the people who knew how to speak up for her as rewarding bad behavior. Can you fucking imagine? Within a month after winning that case came another letter summoning us to court to revoke my mother's guardianship. And we lost. They put a temporary guardian in place who never even saw her face, but sent her back to the same place we begged her not to send her to. The first time that she went, she came back home with even more issues than when she left, and her medication list had tripled. We weren't allowed to go see her in person for a month so she could adjust. Hogan Regional Center in Danvers, Massachusetts is where she took her last breath. She passed of a heart attack in 2019, 2 days before we would be allowed to see her in person again, probably induced from all of the sedatives they pumped into her because they weren't able to handle her behaviors and drugging her out was easier. She had no prior health issues. She was only 29. They thought we wouldn't notice. We were allotted 2 FaceTimes per week, but only on their fixed schedule. And each time she was slumped over in her chair like an addict that had lost their soul. That was not the sister I had known. She looked like a zombie. She couldn't focus. She cried. I know she must have felt like she was trapped with nowhere to run or hide. And that's some of my sister's story. If you go to my Instagram, I have a highlight and it says hashtag shut down Hogan. A worker was arrested for killing one of the patients who lived there. This man was severely disabled and the worker shoved him so hard into a wall that it paralyzed him and he died a month later from his injuries. So I have the news article in there. That's where my sister died. I know that there's some corrupt shit going on out there in the world. So I want to bring awareness to it. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
And that is part of our calling. Exactly that. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Katia.
Wow.
Wow, that was really powerful.
Fearless. Fearless. That was just
You
fearless.
speak beautifully.
What an incredible story.
The work, y'all. The
We're with
work.
you.
This is the work, y'all. This is the work, right? Again, prayers to your sister. Thank you for sharing her story, because you keep her, not just her spirit alive, but you keep her fight alive, right? Because that fight is connected to you and your family, right? And her legacy and your family's legacy. It is worth fighting for, right? Letter after letter after letter, right? Of course, they just assign you some, right? Like you said, they never even saw her face, right? And then they send you back with more issues than they left with. Like, this is, it's very different. Just in other countries, how we deal with people and things, it's just, it really is about love and connection, right? No one's gonna know you ever like your family because they saw you become who you are. Continue to fight the fight. Continue to struggle for people who cannot speak for themselves. That is also our charge as poets. Thank you, Kate, for being a mainstay and sharing your truth with us. You truly are appreciated here. All right, we have 3 more poets to go. Let me shout out a couple more folks. I saw Jerry Coriano, appreciate you being here. Mama Flo, watching on YouTube, appreciate you. I haven't seen CCR Chagra, a couple other folks. Shout out Bill Elkins, he was gonna come through. Listen, final 3 poets, and they never miss. Coming up first, author of I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. This gentleman has been doing it, and doing it well, and continue to do just that. The one and only Baba Ngoma is here. Let these folks know how they can connect with you and all the incredible things that you do. Great to see you. Please, take it away.
Greetings, everybody. It's good to see everybody. So this poem is in commemoration of 9/11. I'm dedicating it to Miguel, and it's called Before the End of the World. If you think I'm sexy, let me know. Because we could get it on before these madmen blow up the world. I could be your bridge from the past to the future, because the present doesn't present much hope, and I'm looking for an alternative to war. Maybe a dark beer or a Nazi dread woman who practices ganja inhalation meditation. I want to taste the THC on her tongue. Take me to some other place deep between her thighs. I want to contemplate her navel from the inside. Search for answers to questions like, what makes her juices flow? And I'm looking for an end to rhetoric. There's a battle going on to capture your mind. Surround yourself in light. Forget your prayers. Instead of trying to talk to God, meditate. God will talk to you. Listen to the silence. It may be the only good news available as lost souls cry out the truth. Sacrifices to injustice, victims of the world's disorder. Beware of bushes that burn. Wake up and piss, the world's on fire. I saw it on the news the other day, some madmen with stolen passports, men of no property who love death more than women and freedom more than anything, set fire to Twin Towers and the Pentagon. Snake's eyes came up like skeletons. The stench of rotting corpses poisoned Wall Street. Wrapped in old gory, the Dow tumbles like a drunk down a dark stairway, a victim of amnesia, forgetting all the crimes she has committed, pleading not guilty in a court of insanity, a cacophony of stolen elections, genocidal reflections, and wars that rage on since Solomon's temple. So choose the red or the blue pill, if you will. You scoffed when told to behold that the horse was pale. Liberty is stuck at the airport, bags being searched by the National Guard, cheeks spread, raped again like Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Vietnam, and Grenada. The news is controlled by Disney. The fantasy on your TV is stark reality. Only you have the power to change it. Put down your flag. It cannot protect you from the karma. Peace.
Yo, and for all else, we got Baba Ngoma. Unmute yourself, give it up for Ngoma.
For
Baba.
real.
I always love when Baba is in the
Facts.
building.
Facts. Give up your flag.
Baba.
It cannot protect you from the karma. You're right. Word up.
Shout out the OGs in the building. I had the pleasure of meeting this cat. Shout out Oshun Oyen, the beautiful planet that she is, for all that they do for each other. Listen, this gentleman, as I mentioned in the beginning, he's been doing it well, and he continued to do it, right? this was before the end of the world, was a poem, right? He said she practices ganja inhalation meditation. Come on, man. But it takes the THC in her tongue. Yeah. Said meditate, God will talk to you, right? There's a battle going on for your mind. If you don't know that, you need to change the channel to where you're getting your downloads from, right? It's been going on since Solomon's temple, right? The horse is pale, believe it, right? Bags being searched by the National Guard. Come on, man. News controlled by Disney. I thought they were supposed to be an entertainment network. But yeah, do your research. Appreciate you, Baba and Goma, a mainstay. Again, make sure you are copying his manuscript. Also, didn't come here to tap dance. That man will put you up on game. Will. Final two poets of the evening. Coming up next, I love to call this gentleman the Iron Chef of poetry because he always serves up something delectable. I promise you, it's gonna happen. The one and only Generalissimo is in the building. Let these folks know how they can connect with you and all the incredible things that you do. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. Yes, since we're celebrating Miguel Algarín, this poem was written in memoriam for two poets. This one woman who I wrote it in her workshop in California. I think it was in like August of 2020, and then shortly after that, a man from California named Richard Sanderell died, and he ran an open mic, a long time open mic that went to Zoom, and so I always dedicate this to both of them, but you can dedicate to any poet because we're all warriors. It's called A Most Honorable Warrior Death. Most Honorable Warrior's Death. So many poetry people I know have said poetry has saved their lives. The same story is told in a million different voices around the world. Poets are warriors. Poets are fighters. Poets are Olympic pugilists. Our enemies, our nemesis, our sparring partners are simultaneously our mirrors and our past. Our present tense existences are fleeting moments in which we contemplate lives, decisions, relationships, families. Our words run through veins to hearts and through nerves to brains. We spit them out as poetry, exposing them to the elements, sending them to a glorious death, memorialized on page to be read both out loud and in silence, not only by us, but also others who have experienced pieces of our lives in their separate lives. Their epitaphs are our epitaphs. Our poetry is a graveyard that transforms death into life. Thank you.
What? I told you. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Generalissimo.
Generalissimo, the magnificent. Oh my gosh. Awesome.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh my goodness. I told you. He never ceases to amaze. Right? A most honorable warrior's death. Man, every time I hear that type of phrase, I always think about the movie 300, right? He said you go out and try to fight, try to win a warrior's death. I just love that, right? And you're absolutely right, Generalissimo. There are so many poets around the world that will say poetry has saved their lives, and they still will, right? Poets are warriors, without a doubt, right? Without a doubt. Beyond the fact that my name means warrior, it is something that you have to embrace because we are warriors for truth, right? We are warriors against dysfunction, right? And it is our charge to make this not just palatable for the people, but to energize them and be the call to action for all these things. Even in days like this, where we're remembering all the people who have inspired us, we are still the call to action. So we can continue to not only move poetry forward, but the things that we are talking about forward in the most positive way. Thank you, Generalissimo, for always coming through with something that we can sink our teeth into. We truly appreciate that. All right, we have reached the closer for the evening. This poet rarely comes through, but I love when they do because they always have something that's gonna stick to you. The one and only Idianga is here. Let these folks know where they can connect with you online. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Amazing to see you as well. And okay, so to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram at IE2 Adorn. I'm also Phenomenal Woman New York. The first thing I want to do first is, so it's like 3 parts. Part 1 is to definitely recognize Senor Algarin's birthday and to kind of like gas him up to recognize that he is part of like the baddest zodiac sign on earth because he's a Virgo and I'm a Virgo and my birthday is next Sunday. So I was like, of course he's a Virgo. Anyway, and then number 2 is I actually wanted to share I guess part of like my photos, but I don't know how to do that. How do I do that? How do I share? I can't hear you.
We could do it. We will just have to set it up. Do you have the images that you would like to share?
Yep.
1 second. We are working it. You got it. Take it away.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. How do I do this? So where do I go? Walk me through this.
First, you want to click on, of course, share screen, and then you want to click on the image or the.
Okay, there we go. Okay, share. Okay, let me go to photos. Go to albums. Go to 9/11. Oh, it doesn't have all of them. Okay, let me go back here. Let me go here. Oh, it's not even allowing me to share like video.
Oh, I guess not. No, I'm seeing.
Okay.
I'm seeing.
Okay.
Rob shaking his head. I don't think so. Nope.
All right. Well, it's all right. I can talk you through it. So, what it is that in honor of today being 9/11, I was trying to share a video I had taken 2 years ago. I used to work in the West Village, and walking to the West Side, you can literally see the Freedom Tower from there. And what inspired this short piece that I'm going to do for you is that when I sat there, you know the children's poem, Starlight, Star Bright, first star I see tonight, I wish I may, I wish I might, grant me this wish that I wish tonight. And so, especially on 9/11 and a couple of days before it and a couple of days after it, they have the light beams. So I wanted to share the light beam, a video of the light beam. And what a lot of people actually don't realize is that the light beam points directly to the North Star. And so that's where that whole entire like concept came from. And this was the short piece that I wrote. And then I haven't written anything in like years, but I wrote something while I was in here tonight as well. So I have a second one that I'll do for you, but here's the first one. The evanescence of life, like the setting sun to the cloak of night, where I cast my prayers, hopes, and wishes on the first star I saw tonight, guided by the memorial light of kindred blessed souls gone too soon, yet not out of sight. And as hope springs eternally like the light of their indelible spirits, beaming as paragons persisting through the darkness of night, to the promise the dawn kindles as each new day reverberates and ignites, that love always wins outright. So that's the first piece that I did. And now let me get to the second one that I just wrote while I was in here, because there was definitely a lot of conversation about grief and mourning. And this is my thoughts on that. Grief is a buried treasure trove of customized memories of love always gone too soon, beating out streams of tears as a waterfall empath, tumbling through the spin cycle of the void left behind by regret, left only to drift into an embankment downstream, left to wring out and dry by the ebbs and flows of the tide to the shore, with the hope of how to move forward while carrying thoughts of you into this new breath without drowning. I breathe you. And peace. Thank you.
Goodness, that's how you just like take all the air out of the room, just like that. Unmute yourself, give it up for Eddie Younger.
That was beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Word.
Your words were beautiful. Even though we didn't get to
Thank
see the
you.
videos, but it was beautiful.
Oh, I'll send it to you, Ron.
We'll show it next week. Thank you.
That is how you do it. That is how you close out an evening. Thank you, Eddie Younger, for hanging out with us. Listen, it's been a while since we heard your poetry. Thank you for sharing that brand new shit and for being inspired by the poems this evening and then sharing them with us. Listen, when you start talking about, the kindred blessed souls, right? And the light, right? It is that light sometimes that definitely brings us out of that darkness, right? Even the smallest point of light, right? And it's the promise that dawn kindles, right? Because love always wins outright. And that, I really, really appreciate that. And I think I'm gonna end it on that. I truly appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with us this evening, from the opener, Michael Sindler, to the closer, Eddie Younger, and every single poet who touched the mic this evening. I truly appreciate all of your energy. Make sure you are plugging in with all the aspects of what the New Eurekan does. Get into the brick and mortar, touch the bricks. They're going to change very, very soon. If you have the ability to go into the brick and mortar, make sure you do. Make sure you plug in with all the other online events and in the brick and mortar. Shout out to RMT. Shout out to all the hosting crew. We are going to end the night like this. Until we meet again. May this energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with you. Until we meet again, peace.